When thinking of classic N64 wrestling games, you either are thinking of No Mercy, or you're thinking of Wcw Nwo Revenge. But to truly know what's the best game, we need to go all the way back to August of 1998, when WWF released Warzone. It was their first attempt at a wrestling game for the Nintendo 64. While WCW was already in the market with World Tour, this was their first time competing against WCW with a wrestling game. And it's alright. For the time, it definitely felt a little clunky, and the controls always were a big complaint by people because you had to put in codes to basically do certain maneuvers. But only a couple months later, in October of '98, you would see WCW Nwo Revenge, probably considered one of the all-time greatest wrestling games for the Nintendo 64, while many may debate that No Mercy is better. This game is praised for its presentation, its amazing gameplay, and just easy to pick up controls. Now, the game does lack a creation suite, but you can kind of change colors on outfits, which is decent enough for the time. This would actually be the last game made by Aki for WCW, as Aki would go on to work with DHQ and make WWF games. But there's a response that WCW would make, and that's signing with Electronic Arts. So September 1999 would roll around, and we would see Wcw Mayhem released by Electronic Arts, and man, it's not bad for a company that hasn't made a wrestling game before. They pretty much knocked it out of the park for 1999. Graphics look great, gameplay's a little on the sloppy end, but you can't always expect perfection on your first try. This was probably one of the more decent attempts at EA's wrestling career, but we'll see how that pans out in the end. And now the ball was in Aki and THQ's court, and of course, they did not fail. They brought Wrestlemania 2000 out, and it was probably one of the best games in 1999 when it came to wrestling. You're talking about the most popular sport at the perfect time. This game took over. My personal opinion, I would put it right up there, WWF No Mercy and WCW Nwo Revenge. That's how much fun I've had with this game. And Aki didn't just stop there. In November of 2000, WWF No Mercy would release, and it is probably one of the best Nintendo 64 games of all time, with perfect customization, ladder matches, cage matches, you name it. They even had a branching story mode, which probably for the time was crazy to think about. This game takes everything that you have expected from wrestling games today and had them nearly 20 years ago. WWF No Mercy just stands the test of time here. Countless times I've caught myself coming back to it, and I think countless others have come back to this game as well. By 2000, WCW had just been over with, so we needed to see their final attempt with Backstage Assault. And oh man, this came out in December of 2000, so you can only imagine the competition with No Mercy and SmackDown on PlayStation 1. This game did not succeed very well.